Pi Network just got a $10 price target from crypto expert Dr. Altcoin, and if you're one of the millions holding Pi while watching it sit at $0.458, this changes everything. While everyone else is panicking about the drop from $2.98, smart analysts are identifying 3 specific catalysts that could trigger a 20x explosion in Pi's value. Here's what most Pi holders don't know. The AI App Studio integration isn't just another promised feature, it's positioning Pi Network at the intersection of AI and cryptocurrency, 2 of the hottest sectors in tech. Make sure you follow my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description below because I'm sharing exclusive Pi Network updates that could determine whether you profit from this opportunity or miss it completely. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Watching Pi drop from almost $3 to under 50 cents hurts. I've gotten messages from so many of you saying you're ready to give up, that maybe the critics were right all along. But here's what I've learned after years of following crypto markets. The biggest opportunities often come disguised as the biggest disappointments. Dr. Altcoin just dropped some analysis that honestly got me excited about Pi Network again. He's not just throwing around random price predictions. He's identified 3 specific catalysts that could push Pi to that magical $10 mark we've all been dreaming about. And the timing? It's actually better than you might think. The first thing that caught my attention was his take on the AI App Studio. Now I know we've heard a lot of promises about Pi's ecosystem, but this AI integration is different. Think about it, while everyone else is trying to figure out how to make their crypto useful, Pi is positioning itself right at the intersection of AI and digital payments. That's not just smart positioning, that's potentially revolutionary. Here's where Dr. Altcoin's analysis gets really interesting. He's not just saying Pi will hit $10 because it sounds good, he's talking about Pi finding a stable trading range around $10, give or take 10%. That's when Pi stops being just another crypto investment and starts being what it was always meant to be, a real digital currency that people actually use. And honestly, looking at where we are now at $0.458, that represents a potential 20x return. I don't know about you, but those are the kind of numbers that make all this waiting worthwhile. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. The recent drop from the 75 cents, 80 cents range down to where we are now has created what analysts are calling a spring-loaded situation. All that selling pressure, all that negativity, it's actually clearing out the weak hands and setting up for something bigger. Some analysts are throwing around numbers like $500 to $520 for 2025. Now, I'm not saying those predictions will come true. Crypto predictions are notoriously unreliable. But the fact that serious analysts are even discussing those numbers tells you something about the potential they see in Pi Network's technology. Dr. Altcoin's honest about the timeline. This isn't happening overnight. We're looking at 12 to 18 months for the major catalysts to really kick in. That means full AI App Studio functionality, serious ecosystem adoption, and the broader crypto market finally recognizing what Pi Network has been building. But here's what I find encouraging. The development isn't stopping just because the price is down. The team is still building, the ecosystem is still growing, and the technology is still advancing. That's exactly what you want to see during these tough periods. If you're holding Pi Network, this analysis gives you a framework for thinking about your investment. The current price weakness isn't necessarily a sign that Pi is failing. It might just be the accumulation phase before the next major move up. Now I have to say this, I'm not giving you financial advice here. You need to do your own research and make your own decisions. But what I can tell you is that Dr. Altcoin's analysis is based on real technological developments, not just hype. What makes this analysis different from all the other price predictions we've seen is that it's rooted in actual utility. The AI App Studio isn't just another promised feature, it's a real technological advancement that could set Pi Network apart in a crowded market. And let's be honest, if Pi Network can deliver on even half of what they're promising, we're talking about a complete game changer in the crypto space. Look, I know it's been a tough ride for all of us Pi Network holders. Watching the price drop, waiting for promises to be fulfilled, and constantly dealing with doubts from both outsiders and the community itself, it's exhausting. It feels like every time we get close to a breakthrough, something stalls, and we're left wondering if it's all going to be worth it in the end. But here's the thing, this isn't unusual in crypto. The most successful projects I've followed over the years all went through rough patches, sometimes even worse than what we're seeing with Pi Network. It's during these quiet, frustrating phases that the foundations are built. The projects that survive and thrive are the ones that keep building when the hype dies down. They push forward, improve the tech, grow the ecosystem, and prepare for the next wave. Pi Network is doing exactly that right now, even if it doesn't always feel exciting. If there's one lesson I've taken from this space, it's that the biggest gains often come from the projects that test your patience the most. It's easy to hold when things are pumping, but real conviction shows up when things are quiet. That's when smart investors accumulate, build their knowledge, and position themselves for what comes next. So, if you're feeling worn out, you're definitely not alone. Many Pi Network holders are in the same boat, questioning if all the waiting, delays, and setbacks will ever lead to something meaningful. It's tough watching the price dip while progress feels slow and the hype fades, especially when you've invested your time, energy, and belief in the project. But it's important to remember that this kind of frustration is common in crypto, especially with ambitious projects that aim to build something lasting. Sometimes what feels like stagnation is actually the groundwork for real sustainable growth. You're not crazy for holding on, you're just in that hard phase where long-term conviction is tested the most. But sometimes the darkest point comes just before the breakthrough, and with everything happening behind the scenes like the ecosystem growth, new features, and strategic developments, we might be a lot closer to a turnaround than it seems. If this analysis resonated with you or gave you a bit of hope, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps more than you know and lets me keep bringing you honest, grounded updates on where Pi could be headed next. It really helps me reach more Pi Network holders who need to hear this perspective, and honestly, we need to stick together as a community right now. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think about Dr. Altcoin's $10 target. Are you still holding? Are you thinking about adding more? I read every single comment and I often feature the best discussions in my follow-up videos. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because Pi Network is at a critical juncture right now. The next few months could determine whether we're looking at a major breakout or more sideways action. And you don't want to miss any developments. And seriously, check out those Telegram and Facebook links in the description. I share real-time updates, community discussions, and analysis that I can't always fit into these videos. The Pi Network community is strong, and we're stronger when we stay connected. Share this video with other Pi Network holders who might be losing hope. Sometimes, all it takes is a different perspective to help someone see the bigger picture. The crypto journey is never easy, but the potential rewards make it worth the struggle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll be diving deeper into Pi Network's ecosystem developments and what they mean for all of us. Stay strong, Pi family. We've made it this far, and the best might still be ahead of us.